And one thing we are noticing on that leaderboard, that getting a victory royale is just that difficult, regardless of how many W keys we've seen, regardless of how many, you know, conversions on eliminations and great battles from some of the greats that we've seen play out. Clix and Epic are still showing us that winning may not be as easy as it seems, even though they are the most consistent team on the weekend.
It's the quick leaderboard stat popping up in that top right corner that gets me, NDF. Peterbot and Pollo, it's like a tug of war right now between them and Clix and Epic. Peterbot and Pollo, 296 points, currently in first place on the leaderboard. But again, Clix and Epic being in this match, there's a chance that they could look to change that. And I love the fact that Kelly pointed out just how well their placements have been so far today. They've really done an excellent job at maintaining their momentum so far.
Yeah, definitely. Being able to keep up a pace like that is very, very impressive. Talked about the types of teams that have entered into this weekend's competition. I mean, it's still 250 of the best duos in NA, all going head-to-head. The volatility and the draw spots, the randomness game after game, you never really know who you're going to go against, but that doesn't seem to stop Aviv and Bugha from continuing to press hard and press early for as many eliminations as possible in the drop spot instances, and so far it's played into their favor as they continue to pace along the top 25 here. Meanwhile, Yamzo and Rise, that team top 17, all in all so far, also doing just that as well, keeping up the pressure.
Zyphel, though, where are you running to? Yamzo hot on his heels, now tarping underneath him. He's got Zyphel spinning every which way. Flowberry Rizzler trying to see if he can reconnect, maybe find an opportunity to shut down Yamzo and Rise, but Yamzo just keeps closing in. He's got that Frenzy Auto, just letting it rip now into the boxes of Flowberry Rizzler and Zyphel, but quick moment of pause here. Rise decides I would like to get a little bit of medkit action going. I really thought Yamzo was just going to keep going.
Well, happy he stopped, because Aviv and Bugha right on their heels. That's going to give him just enough time to figure out there's a threat nearby. Things are going to have to stop here as they bunker down together, but Aviv moves in. And look at this, Aviv has done switched up the whole fit here. He's in full focus mode right now.
But is he focused, or is he a distraction, making people think he's Bugha?
Oh my God.
With some of the shots that he's landing. Nah, that's all Aviv at this point. Just tearing through the health bars there. That's going to be a knock for Bugha onto Rise. The tag team work right now, though, between Bugha and Aviv to third party this circumstance. Yamzo, Rise, probably a world of regret right now, trying to deal with Zyphel and Flowberry Rizzler just weren't able to collect those elims fast enough. Zyphel could have managed to now counter squeeze Yamzo, since he knew that Bugha and Aviv had pressure from one side. They just took the other side of the box wall edits, and now Bugha breaking down some of these pre-existing builds. Meanwhile, Aviv tapping into a little bit of that Pollo strategy. See him rocking that legendary Ranger pistol, and it seems as though other teams have definitely taken notice of just how much pressure you can really apply onto some of these builds with the fire rates.
That's what I was going to ask. I was going to say, how many, what are the chances you think someone took notice of that? What are the chances you think the inspiration comes through, right? Like, is that the reason, or is it just a well-known fact at this point? We'll have to continue to feel out the lobby, continue to feel out the plays. Epic Whales doing just that too, showing us why they're breaking into the 40+ elimination range here. So far, so good. And they get everything they need as well, just to heal right back into the swing of things.
Hanging out just on the cusp of classy courts. Not too surprised to see Clix and Epic, though, because again, we talked about the momentum and how well they're going to try to maintain that. On the opposite end of the spectrum, though, Cooper and Otto only. Seems as though they've been having to deal with other teams along the way. 3 eliminations, though. Definitely a nice spot to be in. Seems like this is a potential look though, for an approach off the edge of the zone here. And the tough part, too, is that I almost feel like Miro is a player that loves his dead side rotations. And I feel like that's just what he's gearing up for here.
Well, we'll have to find out where this is all going to end up going. Paper and Muzz, the first we've seen of them here in our coverage. So we've continued to hop round to round. Muzz, most recent sign to Elite, sticking around in NA for another set of seasons here. You love to see it. I can appreciate Muzz just like, yeah, dude, I don't want to go back to OC. Like, I'm here, I'm competing.
I think
making sure he extends his stay with every time he gets signed. I mean, he's here for work, right? Professional.
You think every time Elite signs somebody, it inspires Dignitas to think, okay, we have to sign somebody else too?
How do we one up this this signing here? Who else is available?
I feel like all of NA might as well be contracted underneath those two, but that's neither here nor there because we also love our team agent representatives, and Baka and Pars. They've certainly been holding their own in this lobby. This is a heavy slugger lobby, by the way. I mean, we saw the likes of Yamzo and Rise, Muzz and Paper, Baka and Pars, Clicks and Epic.
Right.
A lot of greatness taking place here in this lobby, but that means that there is so much opportunity now for a lot of these veteran teams to maybe just look to try and put down each other, see who can get a slight edge in the leaderboard, slight edge for the series points, even though a lot of those teams I just mentioned are basically confirmed for the upper bracket.
Well, typical gamer Noah plays, trying to get their way into that conversation of confirmation. First, more performances and opportunities are in front of them. Let's see how it all plays out. Aviv finds another one in the feed, though. Okay, so Team Bugha and Aviv haven't stopped. But for Noah and Typical, they haven't found any elims, taking their time here, trying to play in their weight class. I can appreciate them actually surviving this late into the game, but this is where things are going to start to get real difficult. For Bugha and Aviv, they're on the move right now. They just love being on the outside edge, love coming from the storm side. There's no strangers to taking their time, even in these types of lobbies. And look, still 8 eliminations, right? So it's even though they're playing passively on the outskirts, they are cleaning up teams. Look back at what's happening. If you're rotating late on the outskirts, they're finding players on the move, Taco, cleaning them up quickly.
Just no time to react there, though, for Myers. Clean transition for Aviv. And going straight from the crash pad into the shotgun blast. There's only so much to be done. He's even got the diversion of attention as well with that initial sniper shot, because you think, okay, I have a good idea of what direction that sniper shot just came from, and then all of a sudden, he's right in front of you. But that's just part of the greatness that we've come to expect so far today, as far as Aviv is concerned.
Well, for Trashy and Skittles here, 4 elims. He's going to find Epic Whale on his rotation in his sights here. Trying to force the lobby to target him, but instead, those wood walls are not going to fool anybody. Other teams would prefer to shoot the weakened structure. That's what ends up happening there. And you can see, if you're going to put up a front, if you're going to put up an offensive fight, you have to be prepared to receive that damage. And a little thing like that, just the wood walls. It's like, no, shoot this guy. Maybe he's in a desperate spot. Redux and Day, what do you think?
Oh, I was just going to say, I love the spot that they're currently sitting in. With 4 eliminations, have to imagine that they're definitely looking pretty steady as far as their search is concerned, but that's probably the last thing on their mind currently, because, again, with the position that they're currently holding, it's really just going to come down to how quickly they want to actually rotate into the next zone. They might not have to go very far at all, but no, they do find themselves just outside of where this next zone pool is going to be, but it's not like it's impossible for Day and Redux to get there by any means.
Yeah, definitely still have a stretch of a game in front of them. What an end game here, right? Coming to another major point of interest here at the Grand Glacier. plenty of structures to work through, but this comes with a double-edged sword. You see the Elsa and Sharkman not too comfortable with you know, the natural structures here, not trusting if there's teams lurking in the vents nearby. A lot of trickery to be had in spots like this, and being more safe will help you from being sorry later on in the day. For Jackson and Convicted, they want nothing to do with the interior of the castle. They're going to play for high ground here. I like this spot. I prefer this position here for them, especially when you have max mats like this. And all in all, they seem to have the lobby under control right now. So they're just waiting out the zone here.
Well, I was about to say no rush as far as Jackson and Convicted are concerned, but again, the damage threshold just falling a little bit more towards their favor as Jackson just continues to overlook the rest of the lobby. Most of these teams kind of just choosing to settle up inside of the actual buildings here at Grand Glacier, and Auto Only on the low ground here spots out Estif, but won't actually be able to close in for a knock and elimination just yet. 6'4". On the other side now, some other builds as Auto Only continues trying to apply some side flank pressure here. Might have a good wraparound technique going, and does find a massive blow. Tons of pressure now coming through with that Thunderburst SMG, but the ammo is so low, but it's okay because he's got other teams, other players taking note of what's going down on the low ground, and Auto Only will find his elimination actually interrupted.
Yeah, and don't forget, you got Cooper there to back him up, so things are going to start to swing in their favor now, as although he picked up all that resource, the heals, still no ammo. So that's going to be a pretty tight spot to be in. I think that team had 10 bullets, so pretty rough as far as the refresh is concerned. But we jump on over to another top-tier individual, Thoric here. What are they doing? Ratting their way around the backside with all this material. You have to think there's a method to the madness here. And they're committed. There it is. I knew it wasn't going to last very long. It was just a matter of when. Out the side he goes. They try to be conservative. You can see what happens when you do so. The punishment. Now the other teams turn on as well. And the burn comes through, but at what cost? All of his shield, all of his meds here.
His duo.
His duo. I didn't even notice that. Duo as well. Yeah, that's it. That's a GG.
That's pretty tough if you're Thoric and Chris, because yeah, the lobby almost like piranhas, man. They spot a little bit hotter. They just ran right through there, no questions asked. Whole lobby just focusing in on where Thoric was situated. But Auto Only, alongside Cooper, will finally finish off the other half of that starting process there. 6'4", getting successfully elimed. Still only 4 eliminations though for Cooper and Auto. Is take a look at the grand scope of the lobby and how it's shaping up. And Paper and Ma is very confidently on this high ground.
They got the mats to do it as well. They have the ammunition. It's a great spot to be in here as we're going off the mountain. We already saw this earlier when we covered that second game. You have high ground like this, the elevation starts to change. I mean, the last thing you want to do is opt to go all the way to the low position, because if it bounces back, you have a clear runway for a win laid out in front of you. And oddly enough, Clix was in that game, so we're coming full circle here. We'll see if Clix decides to go against the grain and go for low ground or play for the height now that he has the mats. The option to try to save Epic Whale, though, doesn't work. Date ends up finding Epic Whale, and the finish comes in from Sales there onto Click. So tough spot to be in for Trashy and Skittles. Last desperate effort of hope here to try to stay alive, but the shots are coming in. The zone's hot on his back as well. He's trying to jump over into the ramp there, but even that might be risky in its own. It's Booga Naveed who's under pressure.
Just having to forcibly commit so much of his metal there, though. And once you're down to brick, it's crazy just how quickly some of these players can actually run through their builds. But Aviv, Booga, they don't care about materials because they're more interested in just trying to find the overall refresh. Hopefully Booga was able to actually collect some of the resources But now, no, it's going to be Aviv stuck in a hard spot. And he will get spotted out before Bugha's able to reconnect with his duo. So now it's going to be down to Bugha to see if he can have a little bit of that solo clutch action that we saw earlier from Aviv.
Yeah, and it's Bugha who's, you know, normally tarping, normally leading. So when Aviv picks up the elimination, Bugha tries to secure the material there, and unfortunately, that was the mistake, right? Splitting a little too far off when Bugha had all the mats to keep him safe. Now, deep scramble here. We already know Muzz and Paper have comfortability on the high ground, so Bugha will likely have to give this up. He's trying to find a grapple spot, but it's a little too risky with this low of an HP pool. He's feeling it too. Goes with the trusted builds there, but no, Noah plays. Oh no, someone else edits him down there. Finds the elim, and now it's a fight for high ground. Paper uses all the material, and Muzz has to give it up. That's not what they wanted to happen here this late in the round. It's Pars who's up top. That Flowberry effect there, giving them the advantage, but Paper jumps down. The drop kick onto Patek makes it look easy.
Hey, sometimes you just gotta take it by force, and that's exactly what Paper did. Now continuing to see if he can get a slight reign of terror going inside of this secondary high layers, but Dash directly above. Paper instead finds himself being eliminated by Trashy the moment that he scurried out from the safety of those builds. But Otto only, all by his lonesome, down to 4 HP and a dream. Has a small shield potion, might be able to pop it in time. In fact, does get the 25 shield extra, but 29 HP essentially to work with. That's gonna be one shot from Day to end it all. As now, Day, a solo himself, Flowberry Fizz comes out, might be able to jump up and challenge some of these teams on the higher layers.
Yep, Ken here, starting to work his way down, says, I don't have the mass to go up for the high ground. Bach and Pars are down to the low ground. So for what did they fight for high ground positioning to end up all the way back at the bottom, essentially tossing everyone's win who was up top? Muzz and Paper probably turning in the lobby right now, so upset, but here it is. Baka's gonna fall to the zone. The Tick is still alive. Wait, will we see the Tick get a second heal? Victor Royale, we already saw it earlier today on the coverage. Pars looking for the heal off. Where is it? He swings past him, misses the opportunity. Down he goes. Inside Slam still healing too. And in the end, Slam wins, but the Tick nearly walked out of there with another Victor Royale.
Curious if Storm Sickness might have been the end there for Tick, but with the way that things shaped off on that last little heal off here, MDF, I'm sure that both of these teams are definitely just hoping that somebody else was going to be able to take care of the other problem. And, well, it turns out that when you've got the Storm on your side to do the damage for you, that's all it takes.
Yeah, sometimes that is all it takes. We saw what happened there. We saw what unfolded. Miro definitely turned up. Things worked out pretty well. All in all, a win's a win, though, and you love to see it for teams like Slam, who, again, just stood back. He had multiple med kits. This was at this point. You can even see the Tick takes that little bit of fall damage there, which was a huge mistake, right? It kind of set him off track. It set him off beat.